And welcome back to part 9 of Dragonstar VARNIR, where after spending some time with the witches, we're going to be doing Zuba's quest. What a boy, it doesn't really matter if we have decorations or not. Wow, the room is filled with the scent of flowers. It feels like we're in a big meadow. Feria, can you put this big red flower here? I think it's better to have somewhere where it will make the room feel more vibrant. I wonder what they're setting up for. Is it someone's birthday? No, it's almost time for the Festival of Witches. Minessa, did you hear me? I could see the wheels turning. It's pretty obvious what you were wondering. Ah, I see. Never heard of the Festival of Witches. What kind of festival is it? It's a harvest festival, when witches would grow their own vegetables, and whenever it's harvest time, all the dens would have their own festival. We don't grow vegetables anymore, but we still carry the tradition. Minessa, and Zephy, I guess. You didn't have to say that part. Faria, you hardly mean it like that, do you? Monet is very confident with how she decorates. Hey, let's take a break. We can call it for the day, right? Minessa, can we do the Harvest Festival in the yard instead of inside the house this year? The yard? Did you hear Karikara's story and now you want to just have it outside? Oh yeah, but I figured, we could make it nice for him, Zephy. Me? It's not for you, okay? It's my priority that we have fun and you might as well enjoy it while we're at it. Yeah, I know that. So as long as you know. So, what do you say, Minessa? Sorry, although it sounds like a fun idea, I can't approve of it. It's dangerous enough to go outside, but to have a party when we're going to be making a lot of noise? That's out of the question. Yeah, I know, it was worth a try. We're all going to decorate, I'm sure it'll be plenty fun inside. We have Zephy this year too. It's not about Zephy! Anyways, I'm going to go decorate over there. Oh, wait for me, Feria. Monet will help too. I want to play adventure. Why don't you make Zephy do all the decorations? Faye must be really happy to have an older brother. She's trying so hard to hide it, but it's so obvious. Maybe I was a bit too strict on her. I suppose it's to be a fun festival. I'm sure Faye is old enough to understand, right? I feel relieved that you said that. Of course. Hey, so, what did the festival used to be like? I mean, with the witches in the past. You're curious? Why don't we talk about it with some tea in my room? Karikara and I just baked a raspberry cake. Tea's okay with you, right? Of course, thanks. Cake sounds delicious too. Tea and cake. I mean, sure this game's not British. We made a lot, so eat up, okay? Alright, so about the old Harvest Festival. As Feria mentioned before we used to decorate the yard, and we would sing and dance around the torch. We would use the vegetables and fruits we would harvest to make special dishes. It was fun. We would get all dressed up too. So it's always been a pretty big deal. They're usually so intentional and serious about whatever they do, but they can be fun and carefree too. It must have been a nice time. I feel nostalgic. I loved eating the cake we could only make then. I would always beg my older sisters to make me some extra. The others too. They all loved the Harvest Festival. I wish Faria could experience it, but it's too dangerous, and at this point in time it's a luxury you can't afford. I'm really sorry. It's not your fault. It's not even the fault of the knights. The reason it can't be traced back to the Carnival of Death. The incident where one mad witch burned the den and her friends in one night. Many witches died and the den was ruined. I could just never get myself in the mood to dance. Back then I was so focused on making sure no more witches would die. That's all I want. Sorry, I didn't mean for you to have to remember such painful memories. It's fine. It's all in the past now. I want to forget it already, but Minessa's gripping her hand so tightly it's turning white. I wonder if she's remembering the incident. Minessa, your hand. My hand? Oh. Here, give me your hand. I want you to feel okay. You're a victim. It was a terrible thing that happened, and forgetting about it is easier said than done. I'm sorry for getting shook up. I can't stop shaking. Hey, Zephy, can you do me a favour? Sure. What is it? I don't want my sisters to see me like this. Can you cast a spell on me? I don't know any spells. It's an easy spell. Just tell me that you'll be by my side, so we'll be okay. Tell me that I'm a great older sister. This is a spell my older sister used to put on me a lot when I was little. Minessa, you will become a great witch. You'll be okay. That's all she'd say. But whenever they'd say that, I'd feel so much better, and I'd tell myself I'd be fine. Minessa doesn't have any older sisters left to guide her and tell her that she's doing alright. You're great, Minessa. I'm sure the girls are proud to have you as their older sister. Zephy. I told you, didn't I? I think the little sisters will understand where you're coming from. I wasn't saying that to be nice. I know deep down you wanted to listen to Feria's wishes, and the girls know that. Thanks. I think I can be the tough witch that I'm supposed to be. I know I'm nothing compared to you, but I want to support you. So I won't go anywhere. I'll be by your side, so it's going to be okay. Zephy. I think I feel better now. I'm going to go help decorate. I'm glad to see her finally smile again. I'll go with you. I'm excited for the festival. I'm glad we have more people celebrating the Harvest Festival with us. We have to at least make it bigger than last year. Let's go, Zephy. So Vanessa has PTSD of her massacre of her family. Which, to be fair, can you blame her? And that will develop further as you spend more time with her. But we haven't spent any time with Karikara recently, so you might as well sign her own death warrant over there. Karikara is cooking again, huh? And her humming seems to be an original tune. I want to help her, but she's just going to tell me to stay out of it. I'll just head to my room. What, so you're just going to watch me work and then walk away once you've seen enough? Well, I just thought there doesn't seem to be anything I can help you with. Cut the vegetables. Oh, really? Leave if you don't want to. No, I do. I can do whatever you want. Maybe she let her guard down a bit. So, you want me to cut this? Yeah. Alright, 1 minute. I just need to wash the dirt off it. Wait, that plant's poisonous. Huh? Why is there a poisonous plant in here? Huh? Let's see. A refreshing scent, the vibrant colour screaming, eat me. Truly is the most poisonous of plants. You get a rash if you touch it, so don't. You're making fun of me, aren't you, Karikaro? You're stupid for falling for it. That one doesn't even work on the little sisters anymore. Oh, come on. I've never seen a bigger grin on Karikaro. The fact that she's joking with me must mean we're getting closer, right? Or am I being too optimistic? Nope, wrong. Anyway, cut this into quarters. Got it. What's on the menu today? I see meat and vegetables. Guess. Maybe stew? Not at all. You couldn't be more wrong. How the hell did these ingredients make you think of stew? But I loved your stew the most, Karikaro. The most? Psh, what a cheap compliment. Don't lie to me. You're used to what they feed you at the night, so you'd never enjoy a witch's cooking. The food there was good, but it's nothing compared to your stew. It's hard to explain, but it always made me feel nostalgic. What? Are you saying my cooking's old-fashioned? No! Of course a witch-killing knight like you would come into a witch's kitchen and make fun of her cooking. You have some nerve. Hey, it's not like that. Then shut your trap and put your money where your knife is. Look at me, I'm talking when I'm working. My prep is done. Damn, I just can't beat her. Anyway, on today's menu is meat pie. It may not be as good as my stew, but it's still one of my signature dishes. Oh, I can't wait. This isn't dragon meat. I don't need to use it today. Manessa and the girls ate some 3 days ago. Lapinette ate some yesterday. You remember what everyone ate? Of course! Cooking is love. Love is the best ingredient. It usually covers up my lousy technique too. Karikaro's dishes can be pretty hit or miss. Her way of thinking about it is unique to say the least. You're thinking of something bad, aren't you? Well, no. But when was the last time you had dragon meat, Karikaro? Huh? Oh, what is it? You haven't been eating? No. Anyway, no dragon meat today, just a regular old meat pie. If you want to talk, you can. I'm here, Karikaro. Why are you saying that? All I said is that I'm making meat pie. I don't stress about it. The only thing I worry about is if the other witches are eating right. But I knew I'd find you here. Can you help me with something, Karikaro? See what I mean? What is it, Lapinette? It rained a few days ago and I think the roof is leaking. We need to fix it, but piece of cake. I'll fix it right after I finish cooking. Hey, Karikaro, are you busy? What is it? The informant is here, but I don't know what to buy. Can you help me out? Yeah, I'll be right over. Karikaro, the wooden sword you made for me the other day just broke. Karikaro, the flowers in the yard don't look like they're doing so good. Karikaro, oh, are you busy? Maybe you could talk about something when you get the chance. Karikaro, I can't open the lid to this stupid candy jar. Can you open it for me? I think I have my work cut out for me today. Alright, I'm leaving the meat pie to you. I don't think that's a good idea. I've never made a meat pie before. I wrote out the recipe for my sister. It's not hard, just make sure it tastes good. Or are you that taste dumb that you don't know good flavour? I don't even know how to respond to that. Whatever, it's your show now. Manessa just picked some random vegetables from the informant. I mean, you might be missing some ingredients, but just figure it out. Okay, I'll check it out. Feria, give me that jar. Ugh. It's open. Thanks, Karikaro. Bye. Hold on a minute. Where are your manners? I just helped you out, and I'd like you to return the favour. If you're free, you should help me fix the roof. If we do it together, it can be done quickly. Okay. Ugh, fine. Let's hurry and go. I'll try my best. Kirikara's amazing. She works quickly and has a motherly way of how she cares for the younger ones. Not that I'm saying she's old. I don't mean to. Wait, why am I making excuses to myself? Oh, right, the recipe book. Okay, so... Wow, there are drawings too. I'm sure I'll be able to make this if the little sisters could. It's really obvious how much Kirikara cares about everyone. The recipe was written with love and care for her sisters. I don't stress about it. The only thing I worry about is if the other witches are eating right. But... It's nice that she's such a dependable sister, is always looking out for everyone, but who looks out for Kirikara? Vanessa's really strong, but I don't think Kirikara relies on her for much. Guess I don't need to think about that right now. I'll just focus on this meat pie. Something that I adore about the relationship witches room thing in this game is that you can learn of things of characters that they won't reveal into the plot until later on. Like we just got there with Kirikara. She'd already been kind of teasing at it, but she just revealed she hasn't been eating dragon meat.
Not bad.
Something that isn't revealed in the plot to the rest of the group until much later on. I love the fact that every character, because I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, almost every character has something like that, where an event that's important to their character you can learn about sooner if you spend time with. Like Charlotta's, without spoiling it, Charlotta's the one that made me go, what the shit? When you find out her, if you can find out her one before you're supposed to learn it in the plot, like you can literally almost like spoil little events for yourself just because you get to learn it privately, but the rest of the group doesn't. But anyway, we're back in the Star Shrine because the secret door is now unlockable, so we can go in and fight this extra enemy. This unique enemy here that counts as a mini-boss, and so you will get the core for destroying it, so go out of your way to really commit to it. Just understand that it can be pretty tough if you're not prepared. But additionally, the other reason why we're in this Star Temple, as we get beat up a lot, look at Vanessa's health. Ugh. But the other reason why we're here is that if you go back to where the Guardian Dragon was at the very end of the dungeon, which is easy enough to do because you have memory jump, so you can just warp there, there is a new boss fight that is the one that Zuba was referring to. So go and defeat this enemy to get the skill you can, and then when you're ready, go to where the Guardian Dragon was and fight the new boss that's there. Understand that the new boss that is there is a very high level, and so it's going to be a big uphill battle to try and win that fight. We're gonna do it because we've got stat buffs and debuffs on our side to help turn the tide and make it a little bit more manageable. Additionally, I'm now using the Delta Force system, which means the middle row will get a physical bonus and the bottom row will get magic bonuses. But there's no bonus to be had on the top row, so be wary of that.
My turn.
Oh, look at Zephy's health now.
Are you okay?
Have someone with big healing at least. Big healing at this stage in the game should be a full heal to whoever you use it on, because you're not a high enough level for it to stop mattering. But you're going to see every now and then I'm going to check if I can devour it, but no, it counts enough as a boss monster that you just kind of can't. At least not yet. But when it's fights like these, where they hit very hard and bring you to very low health pretty quickly, this is when you need to be the most wary of your dragon form. If that dragon meter like hits full, and on the next turn you're hit with an attack that brings your ally to less than 100 health, hold your breath, because if it next comes their turn, there's a chance they'll go berserk, and you're just gonna have to tank it. As I've said before, if you're trying to go for the best ending, the berserk form will affect your madness scale, making your chances harder. So if you want to get the perfect run, you will have to just take that game over if it happens. You will just have to reset your save and load it. Thankfully, it's so easy to get to this place that if you do fail at it, you're not wasting time. It takes 2 seconds to get back here. Like, it doesn't, like, you're not having to trek through a whole dungeon again. You haven't lost loads of encounters or lots of progress because you've had to just load your save again. It's the same way with the extra boss at the end. Because it's right at the end, the save crystal is right there, so you can literally just run in and try it again.
Thank you.
But for the most of this fight, I'm going to pretty much just have Vanessa be our healer. Just going to have her completely on heal support to make sure everyone's in a better stage. Additionally, I'm going to start boosting magic, but later on I start leaning more towards using physical attacks because I can get more damage out of it. Additionally, this boss has Fire Breath, and Fire Breath will hit an entire row, so if you can help it, have each of your character on a different row, just so then the damage distribution is only individualized. It will only hit one person, it won't hit several. Which is a little annoying, because it eventually meant that someone has to be on the top row, which means Charlotta, unfortunately, isn't getting any bonuses from the formation bonuses, so she's kind of stuck up there. But thankfully, we're going to be able to get a decent amount out of her anyway. That's not going to matter too much. Also, what's worth mentioning is that every skill in the game, as you can tell by the top of the screen, it affects your positioning in your abilities. The stronger the spell, the further it will push you back. So, sometimes if you use an extremely strong spell, the enemy might get 2 turns before you actually get your opportunity to go. But oppositely, some spells have extremely small cast times or cast recovery times, allowing you to squeeze in more than 1 turn. Which is what happened earlier with Manessa there, you saw. We get an extra turn because the cast time isn't that much, so Manessa will get to heal twice before the dragon next gets to attack. You're going to see me be like a bit hesitant at this point, because unfortunately I don't have any wind skills on Charlotta, and it didn't cross my mind that this thing was weak to wind before I went into it, so it kind of bit me in the backside. Get into the habit of adjusting your skills as you go. Like, try not to just set up a comfortability system sort of thing. Like, get more happy with adjusting to fit a situation, because that's why you've got access to so many in the first place. Yes, the element your character is will give them a better advantage. So having water with Manessa will be more helpful, fire with Charlotta, light with Zephy, darkness with Caricaro, and wind with Lapinette. And if you're 6th member, it'll be Earth, but they haven't joined yet.
You saved me.
But outside of that, experiment, have different things, mess around. There's 6 different elements in this game, for goodness sake, and you've only got 5 slots. So you're going to have an experimentation anyway if you plan to be able to have access to every element anyway. But just putting all 5 on one and then like the only other on the extra won't help anyone. So don't do it. But we got enough for like nearly 2 levels across the board, like 1 or 2 depending on who it was.
Too strong?
Also, you might have noticed, you remember when I said that there is a slight experience difference depending on your level? If you're lower level,
This seems useful.
if you're a higher level even, you'll get slightly less experience, but it's so marginal you won't really notice it, so you don't need to worry.
This might be useful.
Well, that's kind of proven into my point now, because Charlotta is an equal level to everyone else. When she started, she was a slightly higher level than everyone else. So the experience has equaled out. It's the same when our 6th member joins, regardless of their level, they will equal out. In the same way that Lapinette started at like level 1 when everyone else was at level 7, and she's now caught up in 25 of everyone else. It's something that I do appreciate. Also, he wasn't out long enough to affect the little sister's room, but I still had to check just to be safe.
What do you want?
After doing a bit of shopping, I decided to have an elixir for Charlotta, since she's the only one of our main 3 that's yet to have one. Because Manessa had the first one, Zephy had the second, so she can have this one. And it's going to be getting her a new weapon, because this one specifically is weapon based. So I decided to keep it in, more to kind of bloat this video length out, because otherwise it's going to be a little short, because all that's left after this is that we're going to do Zuba's quest and fight the extra dragon that's at the end. Which you don't even have to do. Like, if you do it, you get access to a skill called P Explosion, which is the next stage up in the fire spells per se. Like right now you should be starting to get access to tier 2 of the magic, but tier 2 fire magic, it also covers, I think, in a 2x2 range, so so if enemies are close by, it will hit them. P Explosion does a little bit more damage. It's like if the other one's like 80 damage, P Explosion is 90 damage, but it hits at a 5x5, basically meaning if they're on the same playing field, it will hit all of them. So P Explosion is something you want to have. And you can only get that by defeating this optional fight. Well, only get it at this point. Much later in the game there are other ways of getting it, but if you want it this early you have to work for it. But we got the Meteor Scythe, I think that said. Yeah, +6 as well. Wow, that's a beautiful extra to see on it. Getting something like +6 at this stage in the game is pretty lucky, so that Meteor Scythe's going to end up sitting on Charlotta for a little while. But before we go in, oh no, we need to turn this in as well, because you always get an extra quest as well from Zuba to defeat that extra enemy behind the locked door. But you can see there's still a green exclamation mark. If you go right to the very end, you'll get this little scene. Hey, look at that! That's the giant dragon that Zuba mentioned. I've never seen a dragon like that before. What's the matter, Charlotta? I sense a different kind of magic power than the kind that dragons or witches carry. What kind of magic power? What? Why? Lapanette, did you see something? What's going on? I didn't see anything, and more accurately, I can't see anything. You can't, really? Ah, it's looking at us. I don't think we have any more time to talk. Right, let's get rid of it so we can continue. Got it. Alright then, let's do this. Do not go into this fight thinking it's just going to be another fight. Ragnar here will decimate you if you go in underprepared, because it's level 60, for goodness sake. It also drops 12,000 experience points, which is beautiful. Your main focus is that it's weak to water, but its weakness to physical attacks is greater than its weakness to water. So if you can get people in their dragonic forms, Zephy and Charlotta should literally only be doing physical attacks, because that's what that type of physical attack is what it is weak to. So you're going to see my first port of call is lower its attack, boost our defense. And it still does 900 damage when it hits us despite that. It still did more than half of Zephy's health. So I was like, oh god. So I pushed for an attack crush on the actual main body. And then from here, my focus is just take down the lower body to reduce what it can do to us, because it has tail attack, and that is worrying. Something that can make it a little bit more relaxing though and ease your mind is that it has no row-wide attack, so do not worry about your rows too bad. Just crack on with what you need to do. But as you're going to see, that didn't do too great damage. It did like 760, but when she goes into a dragonic form, and then we do it, it's going to do several thousands. Because it's just, when you're in the dragonic form, it's just weaker to physical attacks than it is magic for some reason. Well, I say that, it's more that it just has a lower physical defense than magic defense. This is P Explosion.
I'll do my best.
What's interesting about the boss's version of P Explosion versus ours is that it gets that fancy animation. We don't get that fancy animation. It just drops a bomb on them. P Explosion, I suppose, is technically their only row-wide attack, but I assure you, you will get rid of it before it gets a chance to. Look at that, 2,500, beautiful. That's what we need. And it's like, as soon as I did that kind of damage, I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing here. Just in case there was another P Explosion coming my way, I did alter Manessa's position. But it doesn't end up being a threat again in that sense. It does go for Scratch though, which still rips off another 500. And see, Flame Breath is different to the Flame Breath the other enemy had. You see how that was focused, like it was directly at Manessa. It wasn't like a row. Missing kind of sucks though. When you've got that level of damage and you're in a form that you only have for so many turns, you feel the missing. It's like when you've just boosted your attack, used a power charge, and go to use God Hand in like Persona or something, and then it misses. You're like, alright. And at this point you're going to see me actually compare. So 3,600, and then afterwards I'm going to use a physical attack with Zephy, and it does like 4,000 with him because his physical attack is so great. Or is it only Charlotta's that... I can't remember, I recorded this a little while ago, alright? But 3,400. Nearly, just under 3,000. That's because we're on the wrong row. You see how we lowered a row, it took like 500 off our damage.
I can feel the heartbeat.
And Zephy nearly got murdered then and there. So you need to heal him back up again. Once again, Manessa's healing the kind of is your saving grace. Being able to just keep up with it. Later on, we'll be able to get group-wide heals, so we can actually keep the whole party in a more stable situation as we go ahead. But as it stands right now, this is what we've got. And because she's water focused, I go for a water dragon dance because I wasn't too sure what kind of damage it would do. And look at that. It's 2,800 up to 3,600. I'll take it. Even if it was around the same as just using the pickle skill, I'd still take it. Which is still an odd name for a water spell. Can I say that? Why call the spell Pickles? Now Charlotta's burnt out, so her physical damage isn't going to be anywhere near as great.
Handle this.
My turn.
It's still 1,300, but it's not nearly 3,000. Ooh. But we still got 2 characters in draconic form, so I'm making the most of it as we go. But then Zephy gets killed, so that goes out the window straight away. And you can see I'm kind of like, ah, well, great. And I don't have relief on anyone, so I have to actually use an item. For me to then realise I haven't got many of these. And it's after this fight. I do it off screen, but after this fight I put relief on Minessa and I get her to just lose one of her other aggressive skills. Just so I can make her more of a dedicated medic. And I just rearrange everything else so that Charlotta and Zephy pick up the pieces that are lost by Minessa being more focused on healing. Realistically, probably your best setup with your magic is to have 3 aggressive skills and then 2 like other skills, whether it be defensive or like nerfing or healing, things like that. Just then your team becomes more balanced because you've got things to attack with, but everyone then also has something they can do as an extra. I'd say if you can help it, only have 1 character healing or like has healing stuff, and everyone else just have buffs or nerfs as their extras. But it's entirely down to what you're into. What you just saw me use there is one of the most beautiful items in this game. That Warstone doubles the experience if we win this fight. So when we win this fight, because it wouldn't be recording it if we lost, we were getting double of that 12,000 experience, which is why I went for it, because I was like, that's a lot of experience. If I doubled it, I won't have to grind through the wilderness of spells like I had to on my blind playthrough, because it will jump me up to the level I want to be for it. And so at this point, you can see me fighting myself a little bit, and I eventually just go for the attack because I can see that Minessa had like barely any energy left in her dragon form, but Zephy's nearly dead, so I was like, But I do go for a Witch's Fortune in the end, just to give Zephy his top up. So I was like, well, I'll just have Zephy heal himself. I was kind of vaguely hoping that Minessa would get 1 more attack in, because like the meter looks like there's barely a smidge left, but unfortunately not. It burns out on that turn. So it's back to moving her a little more out the way and just spamming magic. But this thing doesn't have much health left, so we can probably just push to kill after this one attack. Only 900? Ugh. Well, it's because Zephy died and we brought him back up. We haven't buffed his attack again yet.
Ready?
And at this point I kind of get bold and just say that I could probably get the kill now if I just push for a Devour.
I will consume you.
Which thankfully, despite the fact it only did like 500 damage, was just enough to do so.
Somehow we managed to
And so we get 24,000 experience points. We get the core, which said the core, the biggest thing about it is that it will give you that P explosion. And everyone gets nearly 3 level ups. They get 2, but when you look at the experience, that they've nearly touched a 3rd. So I knew that they were going to level up again pretty soon when we go into the Wilderness of Spells in the next part. I didn't think it'd be that intense. No wonder Zuba called the dragon with the intelligence of weakling. We made it though. That thing's intestines must be huge. Charlotta, did you figure something out? She said that she sensed a different magical power than us, right? Right, I can't say for sure though. But if my hunch is correct, there may be more dragons with different magical attributes. Oh come on, are you going to sit there and tell me there are more crazy ones out there? But if there are other dragons like this, it won't be good for the forest's ecosystem. Wouldn't it be dangerous leaving it be? True, if it goes out to the city, the humans will no match against it. Do you have a hunch where it might be? I get where you guys are coming from, but I told you already, I don't know much yet. I'll let you know once I gather my thoughts. Okay. Well, first let's go back to the den and report to Zuba. We did complete her mission. Right, maybe Zuba may know something. A dragon with a different magical attribute, huh? Where did it come from? Even if we defeated it, we'd have to figure out its origin. Which starts up one of like the only real side quests in this game. Trying to learn more about these mystical extra dragons who have bizarre powers that are different from the normal ones, and are insanely powerful. Unfortunately, however, although we started this quest, we can't continue it until the next Star Temple. Literally, that's how it works. Every time you kill the guardian dragon of a Star Temple, a new dragon will go in its place.
What are you doing here?
So you'll get, that's just how it will go. But we can report this in and get the Ragnard's recipe, which is an elixir recipe, which is a very powerful recipe as well, but it isn't the main reason you're here. You're here for the P explosion, because that's just such a great all-round skill to have at this part of the game. But now we've got it, I think now's a good time to wrap up. Next time on Dragonstar VARNIR, we will return to the wilderness of spells that we were supposed to be at all the time, to try and avoid the knights and the ravens and their little squabble with dragons and whatnot. But until then, you take care now.